Oh, that's ISO?
Rack it up, I gotta build up the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse.
Joe, so thank you very much for coming on. Now, we were just talking a minute ago. You're a teacher, part-time, and you're a coach. So I used to be a teacher myself. I used to work in primary schools. How have you not killed a child yet? That's my first question.
Yeah, this year's been sent to test me, definitely. 27 years. It is definitely a different job to what I started in, hence why I retrained about 5-6 years ago, and I've gone part-time the last few years. Ever since COVID, I made the decision, that's it, I'm getting out. So hoping that this is my final year, because yes, parents actually sometimes are more testing, I think, than children. The children, you can normally meet a parent, you're like, oh yeah, that's why they like that.
Yeah. What kind of school do you work in?
It's just a local primary school. It's a lovely school, it's a really lovely school. I've got amazing staff. We've all been there years and years, so we all support each other. So yeah, that's probably the only reason why I'm still going, I think. So
yeah, and I mean, I worked in primary schools for a year. Then I realized I was going to kill a child, so that's why I moved. But I worked in lots of different schools, and one of the hardest schools I worked in was actually a private school. And I came from a really not rough area, but I'm like quite a common background. So I've got like the northern accent, rough and ready. And I go into this private school, and I had a lot of complaints from parents, not because of the things I was saying or because of what I was doing, but how I was saying it. So I know. And so in Mansfield I don't know if you know the north, like Nottingham, but Mansfield, it's got its own little dialect. It's got little nuances. It's like you ate duck and all that lot.
Yeah.
So the kids would go home and they'd be saying things like that, and the parents were coming in and literally complaining about the kids going home talking slang.
Gosh.
And I was like, okay, this is not going to work. Yeah.
No, I worked in a very, very sort of well-to-do. They basically treated it like it was like a private school. It wasn't. And I was pregnant with my son, and I had parents. We had a meeting, just a general meeting at the start of the year. And these two parents had a go at me and said that my pregnancy was affecting their child's education.
Oh.
So yeah, they're unreal, some people.
So that's never going to come up as an issue, is it? I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean,
I know,
and that was,
I
when
ended
was
up
that?
having him very premature. Well, he's 20 now. So I end up then literally I was so stressed. I took the next day off work. So I was so upset because it was quite nasty. And he was born 3 months premature the next week. So I did get an apology from them afterwards. But
And
a
that's
bit
not
late by
even
then,
in
luckily.
like it's not even in like the woke era, that.
No.
I was
Well,
back
yeah,
then.
yeah.
So
And bearing in mind, most primary school teachers are women. So they're going to have children.
Yeah, but the parents have had children. Like, how would those
No, I
women
know.
feel if
Yeah.
someone said that to them at the workplace?
No,
So-
exactly.
Been a teacher for 26 years. At what point did you decide, okay, enough's enough, and I now want to branch into coaching?
Sort of fell into it. Actually, I did sort of fall into it. Basically, a friend of mine, I got to about 40. I was hitting 40, and I thought I'm fit. I was like drinking too much at weekends, and just didn't really think about my diet. Didn't really do any exercise. And a friend of mine asked me to go along and do a mud run with her, which was completely out of my comfort zone, and turned up to this freezing cold field. And it was a major series, it was called. And at one point, it was literally waist deep in mud, and got to the end of it, and I just hadn't stopped laughing the whole way around. It was the best stress relief ever. I got a little bit hooked on them, and we booked the next one. And I've done a couple, and I did nuclear races in Essex. I don't know if you're aware of any of the sort of OCR races, and that's massive. It's brilliant. It's a massive one. It's like it's there all the time, and just it got addictive. So I wanted to get stronger, and the first few times I did it, I had to get lifted over the obstacles. Yeah. And then I thought, I want to do this myself. So I got a coach, and I started training for it, and I joined a race team, and I was getting really good. I was like coming like second or third in my age category and really getting into it. And I thought, well, I'm really loving learning about my body and getting stronger. So I did my personal training qualification really to learn more about it. Started running ladies boot camps, had a couple of clients, and I was still teaching full time at that point. And then, then my ex-husband left me after 20 years, and then COVID hit, and I had to sort of rethink what I wanted to do with myself. And I thought, well, I love teaching. I love helping other women become more confident, because I've grown so much as a person in the last sort of 5 years. And I want other people to feel like that. And fitness is great for your mental health. So it's what got me through COVID. It got me through my divorce. And I've now take that passion on to help other women, because I think midlife women, it's a really difficult stage of life. You're dealing with a lot of things. Quite often you're dealing with marriage breakdowns, or children leaving home, or aging parents, menopause. So yes, that's my sort of, I now specialise in supporting women going through that stage of life.
Yeah, I see it time and time again, and I think it's brilliant because, it's great to help somebody that's like in their teens, 18, 19, 20. It's brilliant to help them lose weight and, get more confidence. But I do think, having worked with like hundreds of people in a similar position, I do think you get some kind of, I don't know word it, like it's a greater satisfaction and a greater appreciation from the person that you're helping.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just seems like it's so much more important to them. I don't know if you find
Yeah.
that.
No, definitely. And I think obviously I've been a teacher for so long, a lot of the skills I can take over into coaching. The buzz I used to get helping children do things, and now I'm getting women that are coming to me. Like one of my ladies messaged me yesterday. She's getting married. She said, tried on all my clothes on honeymoon, and they all fit. And my dress fittings are going amazingly. And she's like buzzing, and she's so happy. And that's the thing, is the confidence levels go through the roof. And they say, oh, I'm trying on clothes I would never wear before. I've applied for a job that I would never apply for before. And it's not about, I would say, it's not about a dress size or a scale, number on the scale. It's how you're feeling. You've got to feel like you don't just give up because you're 40 or whatever, 45, that's the best. It's actually the best time of your life. If your kids are leaving home, you've got so much more independence. I've got loads of holidays booked this year, and I'm doing things for me. It's your time. So have to make the
Yeah.
most of it.
I do notice that a lot of men and, well, women and men, when I mean, I'm 36, so it's not like I'm a spring chicken, but we get to a certain age and people think they're done. They think, oh, I can't ever achieve that. I can't ever do this because of an age.
Yeah.
And the amount of conversations I have with people, I'm like, nah, like, honestly, it's just a number. Yes, certain things are going to happen that might make it a little bit more difficult, but you can achieve whatever you want.
Yeah, the same mentality in the classroom is that I say to children, you may say, I can't do that, whether it's long division. I think, I can't do it yet. You will be able to do it. You've just got to, one of my ladies, she's 61, and she's just done her first skydive. And they said to her when she got in the harness that she had the best core strength of anyone they've ever seen. It's like, thank you. She messaged me, she's like, thank you. So it helped me so much with my skydive. So she had, the sky's the limit, basically. You can think there's so many things you can do.
Have you ever seen that photo? There's it's quite a famous photo where there is a 60-year-old woman that's like sat in a chair, looks very old, very frail. And then on the other side, there's a 60-year-old female that's a bodybuilder that's been lifting weights all her life, and she's there like shredded with a. Have you ever seen that photo?
I think I've seen similar, and that's what I say. You're training for your old lady body. Like, you don't want to be a frail old lady that someone needs to help you up the stairs. Or we talk about obviously your bone density and muscle mass completely. You're losing muscle mass from the age of 40 onwards, and menopause accentuates that. So you've got to try and counteract it by eating more protein and lifting up some weights. And it does make you stronger mentally, so you can deal with things, the anxiety and the depression and things. You're going to be able to deal with those things a lot better if you feel strong. So,
and we spoke a little bit, and you work with, I imagine, older women, that go through, and you specialize in menopause. And what made you want to, obviously you have tracked a certain type of client, but what made you specialize in that particular thing?
Mainly because I was seeing friends and family members really struggling. And I mean, I'm that's good. At the moment, yeah, I'm 50 this year in a few months, and I am the strongest I've ever been. I'm not on HRT at the moment, and I honestly believe a lot of it is down to my mindset, the training, I'm walking a lot. I eat really well. I'm really conscious about what I eat. I don't drink anywhere near the amount of alcohol that I used to drink. So I sleep well. I'm less stressed. So all those things contribute. And I've seen friends and family how much they're really struggling. I thought I want to specialize in helping that group of women. So I've been running like menopause day retreats now. I work alongside another lady who's specialises in sort of low tox living and essential oils, and we've run retreats with ladies, which have been really successful. We've got some corporate wellness days booked in. So it's just, and it's out there at the moment, which is great. People are talking about it more, so it means people are listening and realizing that you're not past it. We talk about puberty, and we accept how children behave when they're going through puberty, but menopause has always been a bit like, you don't mention it. My mum would never have mentioned it. Their generation, you've just had to get on with it. And now you look
Why do
back
you think
and
that is?
the height.
Why do you think that
I
is?
honestly, so these are just passed down from years and years, generations where, I mean, they used to dunk women, didn't they? Think they were witches, or they were probably just menopausal. Or when you're losing your hormones levels drop dramatically, and in some women it's really erratic. Then you're going to behave in certain ways. And if you don't understand what's happening with your body, you don't understand your hormones, then you put it down to other things, or, and GPs aren't given a huge amount of training on it. It's like an optional thing for them to do. And I'm in Ashford in Kent, and there's one menopause nurse who I work with now. She's the only one in Ashford, and we're a big town, that's just crazy. There needs to be more support out there for women, because a lot of the time they feel like, well, you can't get a GP appointment, and the GPs don't really understand it, and then they're just getting fobbed off. They're given antidepressants or something when that's not what they need. And it's that education. That's what a lot of my program, I do like online groups, and it's educating women to understand what's happening and why, and what you can do to counteract certain things. So we're all different. Every woman will go through it in their own way. We've all got our own symptoms and things. So but if you're educated and you understand it, then you can work with it and know what makes you feel better and not feel alone. That's the thing. It's people are talking about it, so you don't feel like you're going crazy. You're like, oh God, yeah. I'll say I get burning mouth syndrome. It's one of the only things really I struggle with. And I didn't realize that was a menopausal symptom at the start until I'd done all my training. And in COVID, I was testing myself constantly. I kept thinking like COVID, it's just your hormones. So
No.
And it's like learning all those things. So, understanding, that is just another part of it. It's just your hormones, and take this, it might help, or try this, sometimes just certain supplements. Magnesium is an amazing thing to take to help with sleep problems. Certain oils that you can use to help you with sleeping. So you can try and do it, naturally. Some women can't have HRT, so they need to know that there's things out there for them if they've been through I had breast cancer, so she can't have anything that mimics estrogen. So you've got to find ways of, helping her, that's not down the HRT route, and natural things she can do.
So
Certain foods
let's
that you
take it
can
back a
eat.
step. If you had someone coming to you and they were concerned, like they've not had any assessments, they've not done anything like that, they've not even approached the doctor, and they came to you and they was like, oh, you know what, I want some help with my fitness. I don't really know what's going off. I've lost my get up and go, my energy levels. What kind of things would you expect to see from that particular client? And I know there's a wide range, but what do you see most with someone that you think actually they could be premenopause, menopausal? What do you see?
Obviously, once you get, I think it's 46, if you get certain symptoms like hot flushes, and the anxiety and things, you don't need to have blood tests. A lot of women think, I've got to have all these blood tests. Some doctors still think you've got to do blood tests, but your levels are erratic. They're not always going to health. So it's a bit pointless. I do say to my ladies, sometimes it's worth going to the GP and ruling out thyroid issues. Sometimes folates can be low, like, energy levels, cholesterol, getting all those things checked as well. So it's worth having bloods done just as a general rule things out if you're feeling extremely tired. But sometimes it is just part of menopause. And then so I say to them, right, I have 5 pillars. I talk about nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress reduction, and then low tox living. And the most important thing is not to be overwhelmed, because women are very easily overwhelmed. Their life is overwhelming. Generically, they're looking after the children, they're running the house, they're going to work nowadays, money struggles. So I don't bombard them. I say, right, I would say, go and read Atomic Habits, amazing James Clear book, because you've got to habit stack. You've got to start building on things and getting used to doing things. Simple things like one of my ladies, she was really struggling with her bloating, pretty sluggish and tired. And I said, right, in the evening, have your dinner a bit earlier, go for a walk around the block. 15 minutes, 10-15-minute walk, force yourself to get out, don't take your phone or whatever, walk with your partner, have a chat. That's your time at the end of the day, rather than slump on the sofa, ignore each other, sit on your phones or whatever. And that made a massive difference. She stopped, my bloating stopped, I feel more energized, I'm sleeping better, because she wasn't full. So just simple little changes can make a massive difference. And then if you sleep better, then you're going to have more energy. And it's about, they're not, most women are not want to spend hours in the gym. They might not have the energy. So it's individualizing their program. It might be they just need to start really small. They just might need to, I might just say, right, I'm just going to give you a 20-minute at home dumbbell workout. Get up, get it done in the morning, tick it off, and you'll feel better. And then you can build on that. So, and then it might be like, let's look at your nutrition now, right? You need to just focus on your breakfast, have a high protein breakfast. Maybe try intermittent fasting. Some women that works for as well. So it's trial and error with trying things out, but it's not saying you've got to do everything at once, because they'll just switch off and they won't be able to cope with it. I think they need longer rest days as well. I say you can't train every day. I get frustrated. I do CrossFit now. I got really into that. And I don't like to be told I can't do anything. So I'm more like to go and make myself do it. But I know now that I'd take a bit longer to recover and I'm a bit more achy, and I've got to spend more time doing stretching. And I know that I've got to do that. And that's got to be my focus this year. Because I try and keep up with the 20-year-olds and I can't.
I mean, well, training, do you find that it's because of just training in general, or do you think it's because the amount of intensity and volume that you're doing within those sessions? Because CrossFit, you're doing a lot of volume, aren't you? It's very high intensity, using a lot of reps, a lot of volume. Do you think you need to rest more because it's very hard sessions? Or do you think if you did a traditional bodybuilding split, or physique development split, where you perhaps control your volume a little bit more, do you think you could train more throughout the week?
Possibly. I think because I'm so crazy busy with school and work and trading clients and things, it's a bit Friday's like I only really go to CrossFit. I go to CrossFit once a week. That's my Friday morning thing. And then I do my other training. I trained for High Rocks this year, actually. So that was like quite intense. And now I feel like I've lost it a bit, because I've gone, I've done it and relaxed, and I need to step it up a bit. And I just need to, it's just looking after myself, because I look so worried about looking after other people and keeping myself busy. I've got to do my own self-care. I've got to listen to my own message, which is self-care, spend a bit more time stretching in between. I get little twinges in my lower back and I feel a bit stiff in the mornings. And I think, is it because I've just overtrained a bit, or is it because I'm just getting older?
And it's interesting listening to you. When I ask you about, when I hear you talk about the things that you recommend to your clients, they tend to be things that we should recommend to everyone, right? Stress management, sleep, better nutrition, going for walks regularly, staying active, lifting weights. So do you think, it's obviously we have to push that for people that are going through the menopause, because of the health related risks when we go through that process. Not me, you guys. But do you think that everyone in general is just missing out on those things, or do you think there's something specific about menopause?
No, I think, and that's the thing, is I follow Stacey Sims and read her book. I mean, you don't have to, just because you've reached a certain age, need to just do a little bit of yoga. Do you know what I mean? I like the fact that I'm lifting weights and getting stronger. And I say to my women, not all of them are ready for that, or they don't, they just want, I need to get them just moving to start with. And hopefully they'll get, like I have, I like being in the gym. I like to be able to lift heavy, and it does, it does really help. But I just think, I said the other day, actually, I was talking to someone yesterday, I wish I knew what I know now about nutrition and everything else when I was in my 20s. I wish I understood how important it all was, instead of the rubbish I used to eat and the drinking I would do, and how much it, how good it made you feel to go to the gym. So I think the whole general population, I mean, obesity crisis in this country, and the junk food that young people eat, lots of young people, it's just easy access to Deliveroo and things like that, it's quite worrying that ultra processed foods is, I've got a real bugbear about all that. So back to basics, home cooked food. And
Absolutely. And you sound quite an holistic person. It sounds like you want to take in lots of different things, from the training, the nutrition, the lifestyle. What's your thoughts on the people that go perhaps like to the extreme end? You search on social media, menopause, fat loss, and then you get someone come up and it's like, all you need to do is this one extra. You need to do 72-hour fast, and that's going to cure your menopause, or you need to do this, do that. What's your thoughts on the extreme ends of the advice world?
Obviously, I am very much for, it needs to be a lifestyle, a life choice. And actually, I had a live last night in my group. I did a thing on nutrition last night, and one of the ladies who's been with me for about the last year, she's lost a couple of stone now. She's changed her whole way she is. It's lovely to see. And she said, I know, we were talking about how she got a bit bored with her routine, and she said, I've mixed it up now, I'm trying new things. And but I know now it's a lifestyle. This is it. It's not, I'm not doing it for 6 weeks. It's not a quick fix. It's making me feel better in the long term. And I'm learning things as I go. And that's brilliant here. It's like, it is picking things up as you go. And I presented at a show in London end of last year, and with Alison, who I do the retreats and things with. And actually some of the ladies we stopped and talked to said how nice it was. They're like, it's so nice to see some ladies that are natural, because there was a lot of things aimed at menopausal women there that were not natural. It was all about the aesthetics and the things you can do, the operations and the this and that. And I was like, it's not what you need to do. You need to just, it's not about having fillers or Botox or to make yourself look younger. You'll feel younger and you'll radiate more energy if you are exercising and walking and eating the right foods, and taking the right supplements, not just taking rubbish. So very much for the holistic way. I work with a local holistic retreat centre. That's where we hold our day retreats, and I do a lot of work with them, and I'm hoping to collaborate with some of the ladies there. And I think it's something as you get older, maybe a bit more open to things and things that I've gone through in my life. It's made me a bit more interested in alternative therapies, and I find it just intriguing. I was like, I'm going to try new things. I haven't done Reiki. I want to try Reiki this year. And it's just about making yourself feel good and find what works for you. Taking a step back from the craziness of life and just taking an hour for yourself. I've been for sports massage today because I did my neck in skiing a couple of weeks ago. So I went and had a nice sports massage. But you've got to do those things. No point keep struggling on.
Yeah. And you've mentioned the day retreats quite often. What do you do in them?
So the ladies come along and they spend the day with us, and we talk to them about those 5 pillars. And we have Alison has the oils, and they get to make their own skincare products. So it's all very much about, we talk a lot about eliminating toxins. So a lot of them, like cleaning products we use in our home, makeups, shampoos, conditioners, things like that, they've all got a lot of chemicals in them that disrupt your hormones. Estrogen receptors in our body just throws them out, and just poisons you basically. So it's very much about using natural products. So the ladies get to smell the oils and try and see what they like, and they get to make their own skin serums, which literally is like fractionated coconut oil and then their own choice of oil. I use frankincense oil, and it feels amazing. It's a lot cheaper than buying one of those like very expensive, whatever, mate, £50 for anti-wrinkle cream or whatever. And it's a lot better for you. All my cleaning products are just for using the oils and natural products. It's a lot cheaper. I can't even cope now. I go in like the aisle at the supermarket, all the cleaning products, it makes me itch. I literally full of smells. So the ladies get to learn about that. They get to make them. We do an aromatic dressing, so they get to rub the oil on the pulse points and things. And we do I do a strengths class with them, which I do like a sort of like strength and mobility class. And we do a relaxation, and we do like a meditation at the end. And they go away with a little goodie bag, and it's a really lovely day. It's a beautiful centre, lake house in Kent. So we're hoping to do a few more of them next year.
I have to be honest with you, Jo. I am not one of these people that is I'm a very open and receptive person, but just my mentality, I'm very much a facts, figures, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do. When we go on to like Reiki and like oils and things like that, I always find it struggling. I find it struggling. I always find it a struggle to open myself up to it, and I'm trying better. I'm trying to do more things.
I was like that when I was younger. I've never been into it. I'm now 50 and I'm only just getting into all that stuff. And then maybe it's just a bit more receptive or more aware of my mortality because of my age or something. But I'm just more open to trying new things. It might be. I might try Reiki and think it's a bit weird. It wasn't really for me. I might love it. I don't know. But it's a lovely place to be part of. And I enjoy the retreats, and the ladies come along, and the food is amazing that Alison makes, and it's just a really nice, relaxing day. And actually, the first one we did, we were just overwhelmed. When we went around the room, we do a thing where we create like a menopause vision statement, and we talk about like your why. So it's a bit like when you're training for something, like what is your why? What do you want to get out of this? Where do you see yourself? Like, how are you feeling? Where are you now? Where you want to be in 10 years time at 50, 60 or whatever? How are you feeling? What do you want to look like there? And they were so open. There was a load of tears. They would literally, like, from the heart, these women that I'd never met before were just telling us their deepest, darkest secrets, and everyone was supportive. And then it was just such an amazing day. I just couldn't, we couldn't imagine how overwhelming it would be and how close they all came. It was lovely. It was really, and I think that's what's been lacking, that women didn't feel like they had that support. No one was listening to them and wasn't understanding them. And the fact that now there's more education and more awareness, you've got people like Davina obviously talking about it, and the men, Louise Newson, the work she's been doing. It's good. It's great that women feel like we're being listened to and we're not going mad. It is our hormones.
And don't you think it's really important that the people have somebody that, one, they can relate to? So you obviously are very relatable in that area, but also someone that understands. I'll do a client consultation, and I've never been able to be like that cover model. My genetics are just not predisposed to that. I've been the fat kid that has to work his arse off to get be in shape in any kind of way. So when I get someone that comes to me and they're a little bit overweight, or they perhaps suffer with confidence, I can see it straight away on the face. They're just happy that there's someone that has been through that journey themselves. They understand the challenges, and it's almost like they see the light at the end of the tunnel. They say, well, actually, 100%. you started exactly where I'm from right now. You're where you are now, and I want to be there. I can achieve it. It's almost like you unlock that door from.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. It's, I'm a different person to where I was 5 years ago. I've, gone through some tough times, and I'm really proud of where I've got to. And I want women I work with to feel the same. I want them to know their worth and not think that they're past it. And then it's the amount of times they say to me, "Oh, I couldn't be as fit as you. I couldn't do this." It's like, no, you can. Like, it's just your mind. There's no, I couldn't, when I first started training for those things, I couldn't run to the end of the road. Not that long ago, I was 42 or something. I couldn't run to the end of the road. I couldn't pull myself over that wall. I had to get someone to lift me up and push me over. And then I made myself go and practice and do stuff. And I realized how much fun I had. You know, that's the thing. You've got to do something you enjoy. You've got to enjoy it. And you've got, and that a lot of my thing is about community. I want my women to support each other. So the groups work really well. And then a group of us climbed Snowdon, I think June last year. We raised £3,000 for mines. They'd never met each other. They all my clients, or some were online and some different parts, and we all met together and went, and we had the best 48 hours together and achieved something. You know, for some of them, they couldn't believe what they'd achieved, and we got to the top. We had a bottle of champagne. It was amazing. So
Fantastic.
that's why I do it. You know, that's what I get out of it, and I want to help as many women as possible. You know, sometimes they go, I spent years feeling rubbish. You know, sitting at home and not putting any makeup on, not done anything, not having fun. Their life's just passing them by. Like, there's so much living to do. There's so much, you know, get out, enjoy it, grab it, try. I talk about vision boards, like think about what you want to do, plan ahead.
So you've got all these women that are looking at you and they're thinking, right, I want to be where Joe is now. Joe's achieved this. Joe has come through this. I want to be that. Who do you look to? Who are you chasing, and what are you looking to achieve moving forward?
My thing is to grow my business. So I obviously look at other people. I try not to do the whole imposter syndrome thing. It's very easy to fall into that and not think, well, they've got more followers than me. I think I know where I want to be in the next couple of years. And so that's my focus. It's like head down, working, using the people like my business coach to support me. I'm learning, you know, a few years ago, well, I've only been with them for a year or whatever, but I didn't even know what a funnel was or a lead magnet. You know, I've had to literally learn on first podcast, didn't know how to use the headphones. I in that respect, I am definitely showing my age. So it is a learning curve, learning from people that have just grown up with social media and things. So I find that side of things quite difficult. And that's my challenge. So it's looking to other people and what they're doing well, and that's learning from them. So I think it's great to talk to other coaches and support each other. I like to collaborate with other people. I want to help them. I have like a program I run like a VIP program, and I work with a gut health specialist and a lady does CBT. And I think that's really important because I'm not an expert in everything. So I've got to know when it's best to go, well, do you know what? You're really struggling with your stomach issues. I'm not a doctor. I'm not. Whereas Virginia, amazing. You know, that's what she specializes in, gut health and in menopause. So I then pass them on to her. So it's growing my group, my team around me, and we work together, and we're, you know, recommending it people to each other. So that's the plan going forward. And personally, my own personal goals is just keep on pushing. I'd love to do another high rock or something similar this year. Yes, just keep pushing forward. I'm just going to keep getting stronger and just keep my fitness levels up.
Fantastic. Now, we've spoke about training, we spoke about lifestyle, we spoke about nutrition, and I think that's probably the place that people need to start first, isn't it? That's where people need to start when they think they're suffering through the menopause, they've got symptoms, they want to help manage that. And then the other side of the coin is obviously the NHS, and we've got to look at that, the medical intervention, medication intervention, because the menopause, no matter what we do, it can have quite a profound effect on the health, can't you? Osteoporosis, blood pressure, diabetes, coronary heart disease.
Yes.
What experience do you have when it comes to engaging with the NHS? How have you found it? Do you think there's any, significant pitfalls that people are normally going to come across?
Yeah, I think, like I said at the beginning, it's always when my ladies come to me, if they've got particular things like extreme tiredness, there's no point me saying, well, you need to do 3 workouts a week, and this is not going, they haven't got the energy. So the first things first is we need to look at what's going on. Is there anything else underlying going on? And now I'm working with Claire Cross, our menopause nurse in Ashford. That's a great start because I can contact her. She's speaking in my group actually in a couple of weeks' time. And there's a menopause cafe as well now in Ashford, so she's going to come along to that. So I think it's sort of, but the problem is that she's the only one. That's just crazy. So if you're not under the 3 surgeries she works at, she does do a private clinic, but she's booked up for months because it's so hard. People are having to go private, which I find so frustrating, that women are so desperate that they're having to go private to get answers and get help. And then the problem is then they might get given HRT, and then there's the shortage of it. You can't get testosterone because doctors can't prescribe it on the NHS. It's just crazy, and it's a bit of a postcode lottery as well, where you live, as what's out there. So that's what, it's really hard for women because they do feel quite demotivated. It's doing what you can whilst waiting. I just keep saying to them, you've got to push on. You just got to keep at your doctor, keep trying to get an appointment, and try and get answers. And when you phone up the surgery, say, I want to speak to somebody who specialises in menopause, a lot of them are starting, it's become such a big thing now that they are starting to get somebody who is allocated sort of the menopause thing, whether Claire's gone out and self-taught, she's self-paid to go do training courses and things, because that didn't get given to her through the NHS. She's had to pay to do that. So yeah, it's an area that still needs a lot of work, and the NICE guidelines were not great at all. There's a lot of people have complained about that because it was all a bit like, do some CBT, which is great. CBT is great, and it's as part of a holistic package of dealing with menopause symptoms, but they made it sound like you can have CBT and you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
So
it's not a mental health issue. It's something that can cause mental health issues if it's not treated properly.
Exactly. It's a hormone imbalance, and some of those hormone imbalances can cause people so many, massive issues. Like the suicide rate is highest in women between 45 and 55. That's the highest suicide rates of women. And I wonder why that is, the divorce rate. There's so many relationships that break down because the men don't understand what's going on. The women don't understand what's going on in their body, let alone their husband understanding what's going on in their body. And so then the marriage breaks down. And I think, like, it doesn't need to be like that. You should, if the education's out there to support the family and, for everybody to understand what's going on. And in the workplace, so many women, this is our thing about so many women leaving work or not, having to phone in sick or not having enough support, having hot flushes at work, or, the workplace needs to know what they can do to support them so they don't feel like they have to leave. A lot of women do. They leave. They've in really high-powered jobs, and then the brain fog can get so bad at times that they think they're going crazy. They think they've got dementia. So there's a lot that still needs to be done, and luckily things are starting there. It's being talked about more. It just needs to keep pushing on. I think because you still I think
things like
my mum's. Sorry, go
that's
on.
right.
As though my mum's generation.
I think it's. Oh,
It's
I tell you
okay.
what, I'm going to stop. You finish your sentence. I'm officially going to stop.
And my mum's generation, my mum says to me, like, oh, we still talk about the menopause thing. Like, she's a bit like, oh, why are you still talking about it? But that's just because that's what they knew. They didn't know anymore. And they feel like we're just banging on about it now. But actually, we need to bang on about it. You've got to bang those drums a bit louder. So,
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm a big advocate for, on the menopause, that's specifically for women, right? But there's a hell of a lot to suggest that men go through exactly the same thing. Hormones pretty much mold us. We have the female hormones, we have the male hormones, and both sexes are going to have rises and drops. And it has such a profound impact on our health. And it's really interesting to say about, how little there is in terms of support for women through the NHS and education through the NHS, and actually the resources there to give them the treatment that they need. And it's, menopause for women has been talked about a lot more than menopause for men. And we're seeing men's testosterone dropping. Testosterone, the most vital hormone in a male body, and there just is no support on the NHS. Similar to what I imagine it was for the menopause maybe 20 years ago. It never really got spoke about. And my hope is, as there's more data coming out that, aggressive treatment with women has a positive health impact, they'll then start using that and saying, actually, let's do the same for men. Let's start bringing in TRT rather than, HRT, but with testosterone for men. And I think it could hopefully bring both sides of the coin up.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on this side of things, but from what I've heard, and when we talk about our low tox living and things, what the problem is as well, you've got women who've been on the pill for years now, women on HRT, goes into our water system, and our water system doesn't get rid of the hormones. So, and our foods, like plastic packaging and containers and Tupperware and all cooking things, they've all got the hormones in them, and cleaning products and everything else. So, and men are using all of them, and young people, and so everyone's hormone levels are just screwed up. So no one's really talking about what is going on in the world. Like, what are we doing to ourselves? There's a real issue with hormones. And I don't think people understand that. They don't realize when they're getting all the food that's in our packaging, our plastics and things, what's in it and what's seeping into and going into our bodies, and we're drinking and we're eating. And it's going to have an effect, and the cancer's through the roof. And so, yeah, I think that's the tip of the iceberg, really. I'm not an expert, I'm not a scientist, but just bits I've heard, it is concerning. And I think
there's definitely evidence out there. There's definitely evidence out there, and I think for me, I always like to look at the low hanging fruit. So we've got like the tip of the iceberg that's going to contribute to it. We don't know how much it's going to contribute, but we know it's going to contribute a little bit. But men's testosterone levels, as I'm sure women's, they've declined, and they've kind of changed the goalpost over the last 50 years. So whatever the quote unquote optimal range should have been maybe 50 years ago, they've brought those ranges down almost to move those goalposts. So the normal range for men, and I'm not sure about women, but the normal ranges for men has been decreased by nearly 20%.
Wow.
Well, if you have a natural decrease in testosterone by 20%, that's going to have a massive impact on your health, mental health, physical health. So I'd be interested to see if they've done the same for women.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll have to look into that. And I just think, and also life, we've also got to think about how life is now. And for, cost of living crisis, we're having to work harder and longer, and maybe because we just want more things. We want to go on holidays. You want the latest television or the latest iPhone or the nice car. So we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So I think mental health issues, maybe then people don't have the thing to go and work out or go for a walk. And so, I just think life needs a bit of a reboot. Because it's like, sorry, Karen.
I like to think, I don't like to think, but I think it's apparent that even though we in some ways have harder lives in terms of, like, we do definitely have higher stress, we have poorer sleep, and we have less time in general, we've also got easier lives. Like, we're also very much less active, aren't we? We don't have most of us don't have manual labor jobs. We don't have to go out to the shops all the time for food. We get Deliveroo that just brings us shit food all the time. So we have harder lives in some aspects, but significantly easier lives. And it's such a dangerous combination when you put those things together.
No, 100%. Yeah. And it is simple things like just getting out for a walk can make such a difference. So just for your mental health and your physical health. So people have just become, and I think COVID possibly accentuated that now, made it fast forward it a bit, because people got used to just being at home and not doing a lot. Well, speaks for actually loading. So I was probably the limit of when we've been. I didn't stop walking. I just needed to get out the house.
So if you've got someone coming to you and you want to give them the top 3 tips for women that are going through the menopause, what are those? You've got 5 minutes and someone just wants quick information. What are those top 3 tips that you give someone that's going through, or what you think going through the menopause?
I would say they first of all need to look at their nutrition. So they need to look at what they're eating, because, if you're more insulin resistant, so if you're grabbing high carby, high processed foods, you're just going to send it all over the place. So making sure you prioritize protein and home cooked as much as possible, trying to limit on processed foods, get out for a walk every day, do as much as, walk as much as you can, but getting out in the fresh air is going to make all the difference. And what would be my third one? I think would be most important. Protein, walking, and sleep. I say sleep is so important. If you've had a good night's sleep, you can deal with most things. If you're going to be so much more stressed if you're tired. So I really talk about sleep routine, like same time, go to bed every night, really make sure your bedroom is cozy, don't have your phone, really optimize 7 to 8 hours sleep every single night. I would avoid alcohol. I would probably say alcohol is...
I've got 2 kids under 2, no, 2 kids under 3. So alcohol is definitely a coping mechanism for me right now.
I can imagine.
Look, Jo, I try and keep these podcasts under 30 minutes, and inevitably they always go on for nearly an hour. Lots of really good information out there. Now, if someone wanted to get in touch, they wanted more information about menopause or your coaching or the day retreats, where can they find you?
Yeah, I've got a website, www.joadamscoaching.com. You can make an appointment, free consultation on there. And there's lots of information about my online groups and things that we do. I'm also on Instagram at joadams_coaching. So you can contact me on there as well.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. Lots of really valuable information there.
Thank you for having me. It's been good fun chatting. So.
Awesome. Well, maybe we'll do it again in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic.
That'd be great.
Awesome. And if you ever get a podcast, I expect to have an invite.
Okay, well, definitely. You're welcome to chat in my group anytime. I'm sure the ladies would love to have you chatting to them. So.
That's ISO. Rack it up, I gotta build up the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the